Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It is currently 2:58 a.m. on this warm fall evening. It is currently 72 degrees outside, but it feels a little bit warmer than that. I just looked at the weather before I left, and it's supposed to be 86 tomorrow. And very sunny, although it's cloudy out tonight. But that's what the weather is supposed to be like tomorrow. I think our pool is still open in our neighborhood. I don't know. They sometimes close it like 2 weeks after, so I could still go to the pool tomorrow if I wanted to. But pools in Indiana, like public pools, are supposed to close as of today. Tanya went to the pool today, like our little pool that we belong to, and she said it was packed. She said she could not get I'm going to open my Diet Coke. She said they could barely even get chairs to sit at. You guys, I have bit the side of my mouth again. I have to tell you, this time it's really painful. And I feel like I bit it, and then I bit it again the next night because it was like in the way. And you know, when I went to the dentist last, she wasn't like that concerned about it. And it just keeps on happening over and over and over again. And I've read all these articles now online about like what to do about it and whatever. And there's like not a whole lot that I can do about it. I kind of wonder if it's like how I lay when I sleep. Because I've been laying on my stomach a lot more. And I just kind of wonder if that's like why I'm like, who knows? Who knows? Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, so let me tell you. I have not watched the other 2 episodes of Only Bodies in the Building because today I was so busy getting videos done. I filmed videos on all of my channels today, or I posted videos on all my channels. My review video was already done from yesterday. And Alex was on his way home. They got up, and then they went and had brunch, and then they drove home after that. He got home about 7 o'clock tonight after dropping everybody off here in Indianapolis. He was really tired. But he had a great time, and he was super happy to be home, though, with the dogs and me. And so we had kind of like just a chill evening. What was he watching on TV? He was watching Dynasty while I was working on some stuff on the computer. And then I sat there. Oh, I know why I didn't watch it. Because I sat down with him, and then I got my iPad out and my headphones. Because I was going to watch only... Yesterday I had bought like onion dip and chips and stuff. And so I sat there and I was just going to eat some snacks for a little bit. And then my plan had been to lay down for like an hour. That's always my plan, you know? And then get up and vlog and like listen to my audiobook and listen to this podcast that I want to tell you guys about. But I ended up sleeping from like 10 until just like 10 minutes ago. Needless to say, I'm like wide awake. Because I just slept like 5 hours. I brought little Boo Radley upstairs with me, and he, I thought for a second, I saw somebody in the back seat. That scared the hell out of me. I brought little Boo Radley upstairs with me, and he slept on Alex's pillow while I took a nap. And then Alex and Tucker came up not long after that. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I sat down to start watching the second episode of Only Bodies in the Building, which was that show that I started watching on Hulu yesterday with Steve Martin and Martin Short. I think it's Martin Short, right? Is that his name? And Selena Gomez. So good. But somebody today had like told me that the D'Amelio show, the reality show on Hulu, is really good. So I was like, well, let's try this for a second. So I started watching. You guys know who Charli D'Amelio is, the TikToker, and her sister Dixie. They have like hundreds of millions of TikTok followers, and anyway, they got famous. Like, Charli D'Amelio did dances on TikTok, and I think she's like the #1 TikToker in the world or something like that. Anyway, it's about how her and her family have moved to Los Angeles. And to be honest with you, I really have no interest in her or her family whatsoever. But like, the parents seem so nice to me. Like, they really do. Because they say all the right things. They say all the things you would want a parent to say. You know, like, well, like, just, you know, when does she have time to be a kid? And all this other kind of stuff. But, like, I have such a hard time watching it and not being like, especially the dad for some reason. I don't know why. Like, any interviews I've seen with them or anything, the parents just seem like such opportunists to me. And, you know, I mean, I guess why wouldn't you be when, you know, your daughter has that kind of, both of your daughters, because her sister now has a huge following too, and it's like a musician. And so I understand it, but at like the same time, and like, I think it's great that the parents are very involved in their kids' lives as far as helping them to make decisions. Well, I think Charli is only like 17 right now, so she's still like under their roof, and her sister's in an apartment like 10 minutes away, they say in the thing. Anyway, it's not bad. It's like, it's okay. I mean, it's a reality show about a family living together. I mean, there's been a million of those, right? I'm just not that interested in the D'Amelios. Like, they're not interesting to me on any kind of level whatsoever. Like you would have to be interested in, you know, it's like, I mean, I think it's an interesting concept for a reality show because there's so many people out there that watch TikTok and love her. She's got this huge following, right? So it's smart that they're doing it. But, like, I have no interest in them as people. So for me to watch a reality show, I mean, I'd rather watch it about people that, I don't know, like, there's just no interest in it to me, you know. Welcome to Plathville. Like, those people have more interest to me than they do. So I like watched like half the episode, and it was okay. It was like whatever, you know. I mean, like every 5 minutes she's like, I'm Charli D'Amelio, I'm a TikToker, you might know me. And then they're like, so what are you doing today? TikTok. Well, I just, like, this is the other thing. Like, whenever I hear these people talk about like content, like TikTokers, like, you know, they get famous on TikTok or YouTube or whatever. I'm not gonna say I have never said it, because like, once you start hearing that language, it's hard not to use it. But when people talk about content, like, well, I have to film content today, I just think that's such a phony saying, you know. And she's like, well, I mean, at the time she's like, she's a sweet girl, she's a real sweet girl, right? But it's just like always hearing all these people talk about all that. And she's like, it's a business, and, you know, but I don't think of it as a business. I just think of it as like doing TikToks. And she's like, but it is kind of fun talking to CEOs of companies. I don't know. She's a very sweet girl. And the show, if you're interested in her, you're interested in TikTok whatsoever, I think would probably be delightful. I just don't have any interest in them as a family whatsoever, so I won't be continuing the show. That's I've got too many other shows that I want to watch. Like about women that kill their husbands on Snapped or something like that. Okay, that's the kind of people that I'm interested in. Which is probably saying a lot, but anyway, okay, so I don't know if I talked about this or not last night, but you know, I started watching that, well, I did because I asked you guys for suggestions, and I didn't even go through to read. I'll have to read the comments here in a little bit, because I've been so busy today. I asked you guys for suggestions on true crime podcasts that are like series, and I had Googled it, and I found the suggestion where I found like lists of like the top 10, the top 15 for this year. And so I just wrote down a bunch of them. But last night I started listening to this podcast called Tom Brown's Body. Well, let me just tell you, when I got done vlogging last night, because I was like, okay, if I'm gonna start listening to podcasts, I have to keep up with my audiobooks, right? So I was like, I'm gonna listen to, because I try to listen to an hour minimum every day of whatever audiobooks I'm listening to. So I was like, I'm gonna listen to an hour of this Paula Hawkins book, which, interestingly enough, last night started getting a lot better. But I was talking to Tanya about it. It's called I think it's a slow fire burning. Tanya and I were talking today, and she's reading it too. And I said, where are you at in the book? And she's like almost right exactly where I'm at in the book. And I said, okay, what do you think of it so far? And she's like, I'm just really disappointed. She's like, I kind of just wish something would happen. She's like, I wish I would just kind of like get to something. And I said, right? Like I said, I don't understand. Like, this is not like, it doesn't feel like a Paula Hawkins book. Like, Paula Hawkins books, like, stuff happens, right? And you're like really in the middle of like this big mystery. And she was like, yeah, I totally agree. And so we were talking about that. I mean, it's interesting. So it's about this guy that gets murdered and the women in his life. And the woman that lives next door on this houseboat, and then his aunt, and this woman down the street from his aunt, and this woman that he had a one-night stand with. And it talks a lot about mental health. And like, I don't know a lot about like how they treat mental health in the UK. I think I've read one other book where they talk a lot about like being sanctioned and stuff like that. But they talk a lot about it in this book. And the terms that she uses, I've heard before, but I don't know a lot about it. Like this character refers to herself as a vulnerable adult. And she's like, I have to have somebody with me, like when she's talking to the police. And she said, because I'm a vulnerable adult. Which must be like a term that they use. I don't know. But anyway, the book it's interesting. It's really truly a slow fire burning. So I'm like wondering, like they've already referenced the title in the book, but I'm wondering if the title of the book also references like what is happening, and then at the end it's going to be like some bombshell that's dropped that everybody's going to be like, oh my god, this is the greatest book ever. Because like I could totally see that happening, right? Like, it is so well written. And the character development is so incredible that you can't deny that it's a great book. I mean, you're really interested in these characters, these women, right? But at the same time, like, you don't really know where it's going. Like, even with the Liam O'Yeardy book, she's very similar to that, right? Where she writes about all these characters and they kind of all come together and they all have, like, their secrets and their mishaps and all that kind of stuff, and then she brings them all together in the end. Even that way, it feels kind of like it's building a little bit more than this feels like it's building. Like, this is just, I don't know. But it's not horrible. So I listened to an hour of it last night, a little bit more than that, because I was like really interested in it when I was listening to it. And then I switched over and started listening to this podcast. Okay. You guys, I am so hooked. Well, I listened to the first episode of the podcast, and then I was like, okay, I'm not going to be listening to my audiobook tonight if I don't go and like make sure I dedicate an hour to it right now, because I'm so into this podcast. Like, right out of the gate, I was really into it. I think I ended up listening to 3 or 4, 3.5 maybe episodes. I don't know how many episodes, but I'm like halfway through the series. Okay, so it's about this kid. Well, the guy that narrates it is this investigator from Texas, and he's written for Texas Monthly magazine for like 10 years or 20 years or something. And there's this case that happened in this small town called Canadian, Texas. And it's about this kid that's 18, I think. And he's like football player, class president, gonna be in one of the plays in high school because he loves to act. And like that's coming up like in a week or something, and all this kind of stuff. Had this girlfriend, just broke up with her. She's a year ahead of him, and he's a senior, and she goes to another college, and so he's going to go to another college probably, and so he breaks up with her because of the long distance relationship, and gets along with his family, always home in time for curfew, all this kind of stuff. Well, the night before, because this is what I want to listen to, like a series where you listen to it over a period of like 6 or 8 episodes or 10 episodes, you know. The night before Thanksgiving in 2016, he went and hung out with friends, and then was supposed to be home at midnight, was with this girlfriend, not his girlfriend, but this friend of his that was a girl, until 11:30, and then they both left to go home, and he's never heard from again. So that's in November of 2016. In February of 2019, they find his remains. And it's a cold case, or it's still an open case, so they don't know what happened to him. So it's really about this investigation of, like, trying to find out what happened, and this guy that narrates it, he's a really good narrator. And at one point, it's so funny because he plays this Avett Brothers song, and my old sponsor used to love the Avett Brothers. Like, he and his wife would go, like, they took a whole trip this one time, my old sponsor and his wife, they took a trip, like, across country, and they, like, followed the Avett Brothers. Like, this was while he was sponsoring me, so this was just a couple, I don't know, 5 years ago, something like that. And he loved the Avett Brothers. Well, they play this Avett Brothers song called No Hard Feelings in the podcast, and then that's like the theme song for the podcast. So anyway, I downloaded that song last night because I was like, oh, I like this song. But I had the heat on, and it felt good in here for a while, and now it's kind of a little toasty. Yeah, but it's really good, and it's really scary, and then it's like his family trying to figure out what happened to him, and like looking for his truck, and then they bring in this private investigator that's like, I think his name's Philip Klein. He's like super famous private investigator. Apparently he found Olivia Newton-John's boyfriend when he was missing or something, I don't know. He charges $25,000 to $75,000 per missing persons case. It's like, oh my God. And it's just a really sad case on top of that. But it's really, really weird. It's really good. It kind of goes into a weird direction at one point, and kind of a scary direction, honestly. I don't know, you just have to listen to it. But if you listen to true crime podcasts, I would highly, highly recommend it. And then I made a list of like 11 podcasts that I want to listen to. So I guess I have joined the podcast train. You know, I consider myself a murderino. I really like, what's it called? My favorite murder. Why can't I think of what it's called right now? You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, my favorite murder. Is that it? Why can't I think of what it's called? But I don't listen to all of the episodes anymore. I really want to see them in person, and I love the two narrators. I've actually been wanting to read the book by the one, I can't think of what her name is, Karen Kilgore, is that her name? I think Mel read the book and said it was good. But I've been wanting to read that book. But like I talked to Mel tonight, and I was like, I want to listen to true crime podcasts that are like series like that. Like, not like every episode is, let's talk about a different serial killer. Like, that's fine and well. Like, I want to listen to like a series, you know? I'm going to pull in here, and I will. It is kind of windy tonight. Stuff's blowing across the parking lot and whatnot. So I'm going to read to you guys my list that I came up with. I'm probably not going to vlog for a really long time tonight, because I do want to... See, there's that Avett Brothers song right there. I know you can't see that. The list that I came up with was The Orange Tree, Counterclock, Culpable, Paper Ghosts, Case File. And I know some of these are kind of like podcasts, like I just said, that like every episode is something different, but I still heard they were really good. Okay, so The Orange Tree, Counterclock, Culpable, Paper Ghost, Case File, Up and Vanished, Serial, Suspect, In the Dark, Bear Brook, and The Clearing. And The Clearing is like on Spotify, so you have to go over to Spotify to listen to that. Let's see if anybody recommended podcasts to me on my vlog. Let's see. Okay. Amanda said, "Hi Peter, I have a really good one for you. Have you heard of Adnan Syed?" Okay, I have not. I know, I just read about this true crime podcast yesterday. I think it's called Serial, the first one. He was a teenager convicted of the murder of his classmate. There are 2 great podcasts on him. One is called Serial with Sarah Koenig. The other one is Undisclosed. They are great, and I highly recommend check it out. Okay, Undisclosed. I'm gonna write that on my list. Undisclosed. Okay. So, thank you for that, Amanda. Hello, 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 said Michelle. No podcast recommendations, but recently read The Night Swim by Megan Golden, which was a thriller where the main character was a true crime podcast. Has a true crime, one of my favorite reads. Okay, that is so funny because I need to read that book because I want to see if it's the one I'm thinking of. If it's the one that has like a lot of like weird pictures and stuff in it, like in the paper, like the physical hard copy of it, I have that at home, and I feel like people keep on recommending that book to me. And what's so weird is when it first came out, I heard oh, it's in my library. I heard really mixed things about it. Okay, it won't let me on Audible look it up. Hold on a second. The Night Swim. I'm trying to pull it up on Goodreads. Here it is. Have I already read this? I can't remember what that one author was that Okay, Megan Golden. After the first season of a true crime podcast became an overnight sensation, set an innocent man free. Have I read this already? In the last hope for thousands of people seeking justice, but she's used to being recognized for her voice, not her face. She finds a note on her car windshield. Oh, that sounds good. No, I haven't read it yet because I haven't rated it. Okay. So thank you for that. I will... Let me screenshot it. I have to listen to the true crime book next, but I will listen to that after that, maybe. Okay. Magic Me said, does this mean you haven't heard the S-Town podcast? Because that's fantastic. Okay, I'm going to write that one down. S-Town podcast. I'm getting all these great suggestions. I'm so excited. Okay, why is my camera looks like so fuzzy? Okay. Magic Me also said the sound of that soda bottle opening. Oh my god, you're one of those asthmers. Marie said, I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere because I love you, Peter, and the Vloggerinos too. Hope everyone has a great day. Aww. Original Me said, I'm so excited about the podcast. Aww. Cynthia said, Steve Martin is so handsome. Father of the Bride will forever be one of my favorites. The actress that plays Sarah Palin. Yes, Tina Fey. I can never think of her name. Also, I would love to see your mom in a movie theater screaming at the screen. Okay. Those are the only types of podcasts I listen to. Okay, this is from Original Me. Who said so excited about that. Okay, those are the only type of podcasts I listen to. I like the whole season to focus on one case. Murder in Illinois, To Live and Die in LA. 3 seasons, each about a different case. The Piketon Murders, Your Own Backyard, Paper Ghost Burned. based on my hometown where I grew up, and okay, I'm gonna have to Murder in Illinois. I really didn't To Live and Die in LA. I almost added that to my list because I think somebody else had recommended those. Maybe it was you, I don't know. That was a famous movie in the 80s as well. Okay, the Piketon Murders. Ooh, I'm getting so excited. That autocorrects to Pokemon Murders. Piketon Murders. Your Own Backyard. Ooh, that sounds good. It's a good title. Your Own. Melissa and I already have a title for our podcast, Paper Ghost Burned. But I was thinking today, or was it yesterday? I don't know. I was thinking, wouldn't it be a great idea for a podcast? This might be something that we do as part of our podcast and call it a different ending. You could call the podcast a different ending. This might just be a great podcast in general. I don't know. Maybe we might have to change our podcast idea. But if you called it a different, this probably exists out there, but you called it a different ending, and then you would watch a movie. It could be any movie like Titanic or whatever. And then you just came up with theories for what different endings would happen at the end of the movie. Isn't that such a great idea? I love that idea. Does that already exist? Somebody's probably like, yeah, that already exists. Okay, well, let me know. Okay, let's see. Aya said, hi Peter, I personally enjoy any of the Audio Chuck productions. They have a show that's exactly what you're talking about called Solvable. In the first season, they talk about a little baby girl Jane Doe case. It's really good. Okay, Solvable. I feel like I have quite a few of those Audio Chuck books listed, or Audio Chuck podcast listed. Oh my god, so many people are recommending. This is so crazy. NBC Dateline have 3 really good one-case podcasts. Killer Roll, Mommy, Doomsday, and The Thing About Pam. They are all very good. Highly recommended. That's from Lottie. Okay, NBC Dateline. I saw that one last night. That's like one of the top shows on podcasts. Okay, Coffee Chat said, I highly recommend listening to the podcast called Broken Hearts. It's a podcast diving very deep in the case of 2 moms who have 6 adopted children. White women who have 6 adopted children, all black children. The moms and the children end up dead in a car that they drove off a cliff, and most of them are found in the car. But I believe 1 or 2 of the children are never found. Each episode dives into the background of the moms and the children. The strange occurrences leading up to the death. And oh, wow. Okay, that's called Broken Hearts. That's crazy. I've never even heard of that case. Is that like a true story? I never even heard of that case. Okay. I don't want to read through all the comments tonight. I'll do that in a couple. I'm just kind of like skimming through for podcast recommendations. Amanda said, good evening, Peter. My daughter's first day back to school is tomorrow, and she is very anxious about it. She asked me if I could turn on your vlog to fall asleep to. I thought it was cute. Is it time up? I thought it was cute as she is 10 years old. She fell asleep within 20 minutes. Also, thank you. Aww. 20 minutes, so thank you. Oh, that is so cute. Liz said, oh my God, that's so cute. Hope your daughter has a wonderful first day back at school. I have my first back day on campus in 2 days, and I'm really anxious about it too. If she can get through her day, I know I can too. We got this, girly. Oh, you guys are so sweet to each other. It just stopped. Heather said at 12:30, at 12, like the timestamp. Tina Fey, Peter, LOL. Jamie said, these true crime podcasts remind me old time radio serials, The Shadow Knows. I think that's kind of why I like them, because I used to listen to that stuff when I was a kid. I have it right now on Black Museum, The Hammer.
On the English Channel.
I have that, Radio Classics on Sirius Radio. That's what I listen to sometimes when I drive around. Paula said, I love the podcast Cold. Each season is a different cold case in Utah. Okay, we'll add that one. Thank you, Paula. Paula! Addie also said to live and die in LA. Oh, Leslie. She said, I have been a viewer listener for a while, but have only commented a couple of times. I wanted to say now, though, thank you for the comfort your vlogs give. Especially this past week and a half, because my mom passed away. I'm so sorry, Leslie. Last week, and the funeral was this past weekend, I had a long drive to 2 states away to see her at the hospital before she passed, and I went home for a couple of days and back for the funeral. I listened to your vlogs as I drove, and it was so comforting to me, like being able to chat with a friend. There was a podcast I listened to. That's just one of the nicest compliments. I just want to say, Leslie, thank you so much, and I am so sorry for the passing of your mom, and sending lots of love and prayer and positivity. And if you guys could send her a lot of prayers too, I would really appreciate that. She said, there is a podcast I listen to, and another fan coined the term, the friends in my ears, to describe the woman on the podcast. I feel like that description also applies to you. Aw, thank you, Peter, for being a friend in my ears this past week. Oh, that is so sweet. Did somebody just drive it? I swear I just saw somebody walk behind my car. I don't know why I'm like seeing things tonight. Wait. Teresa said, my hubby wants me to ask you if you could pick any book to be made into a movie, which book would you choose? Well, hubby, what was the name on that? God, why didn't I look closer at the name of it? Hold on a second. Teresa, and Teresa's hubby. Okay. Oh, what is this? Crafty Cutie said, you need to recharge your batteries. Watch first season of Pose. Now I get where Beast comes from. Well, Beast actually comes from an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race. And it was where Alyssa Edwards referred to Michelle Visage as Boost. And she said it just like that. And I love Alyssa Edwards and everything about it. So that's where it comes from. And then Alyssa Edwards actually had fans that she put out with Anastasia of Beverly Hills. I have like one of those. Well, I have a fan that somebody sent me that watches my videos. The fan that Anastasia of Beverly Hills sent to me, Bunny actually has. I sent it to Bunny. I did like a little giveaway thing. Okay, what book would I love to be made into a movie? Well, right now, I would love to see the movie For Falling that I just read by T.J. Newman. You know, here's the thing, is that there's been so many of the books that I love that have been made into movies, and it's very rare that, like, I kind of like the book more, it's rare that, like, I'll say, oh, they're really close, you know? Honest to God, if I say that a book and the movie adaptation are really, like, similar, then that to me means that especially if I liked the book, that the director did and the actors did a fantastic job recreating the book. Because for me, I'm like such a hard critic when it comes to books being adapted into movies. For example, Paper Towns by John Green. Cara Delevingne was not the actress for that movie. I don't care what anybody says. I think the character's name is Margot. She was a horrible Margot. Horrible. I love Cara Delevingne. Is that her name? I love her. I think she's beautiful. I think she's fantastic. She was wrong for that role. That was not how I imagined that girl to be whatsoever. And at the end, she ruined the movie for me. That book is one of my favorite John Green books of life. Paper Towns, if you've never read it. And, you know, I'll tell you another book that I would like to be made into a movie, and that is Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli. But see, that's another book that you need to have a really special actress for to play Stargirl, or it's gonna, I mean, the character Margot in Paper Towels, is that her name? I think it's her name, was just a really special girl. And, I mean, John Green wrote her that way. She was this girl that, like, when she walked into a room, like, she owned the room, you know, and that's not just something that comes along with being a good-looking girl, you know, it's like, I almost feel like that comes across as, like, being somebody really different. I would really like to see the Truly Devious books made into a series. I honestly think that at some point that might be made into a TV series. The Truly Devious books by Maureen Johnson would be a good TV series. I'm trying to think of a book. What's the one book where the girl didn't leave her house because she had all of those medical issues, and then she found out that she didn't have any medical issues? It was all made up by her mom. Do you remember that movie? I got that book, that book. I watched that movie. It was so bad. It was so bad. I'm trying to think of what else. I think the book, A Single Man, it's really a novella by Chris Isherwood, because I kind of an interesting, like, relationship reading about Chris Isherwood anyway, which I'll explain in a second. So anyway, he wrote the novella, A Single Man, which Tom Ford made into a movie with, why can't I think of that guy's name that played the main part? He's very attractive. And Julianne Moore played his friend. She was fantastic in it. It was filmed so beautifully. But, okay, so Chris Isherwood, here's what happened. I watched this documentary years ago, and it was, like, recommended to me on Netflix, I think. And it was about Chris Isherwood and his boyfriend, who, when they met, Chris Isherwood was like, he was a famous writer. He was like 52, and his boyfriend was like 20 or something. And they were together like their entire life after that. And it was like, this whole documentary was about their relationship. And then I was like, I've never even heard of this Chris Isherwood guy. And so when I looked him up, A Single Man came up. And that movie had already been out for a while. I want to say Jeremy Irons, but it's not Jeremy Irons that plays that part. But anyway, I'm going to have to pull in here and look in a second because it's going to drive me crazy. So anyway, I read the book, the novella, for Booktubeathon a couple years ago, Reading Rush. And I'm pulling right in here because I want to see who this is. I can see him in my head. Why can't I think of what his name is? Okay. A Single Man cast. Huh? This is Colin Firth. Is that right? That's not who I was thinking of. I guess it is, because there's Julianne Moore. So it's Colin Firth that plays the main part. That's not who I thought. I was thinking, I don't know who I was thinking, but that wasn't it. But anyway, it's a very sad movie, and it's a very sad book if you've never read it. It's about this gay guy, and I think that he's like a professor in a college. He's a professor in a college, and his partner, his long-term partner, has passed away. And this is like in the 40s or 50s. And this wasn't at a time when people were like open about having gay couples or being a gay couple. Like, did you ever, I just like look back on that and I think like, you know, I mean, the 40s and the 50s didn't seem that far off to me because, you know, my parents were born in the 40s and, you know, I mean, like, I just remember my parents talking about the 50s and stuff, and then, like, seeing that movie with, like, Shirley MacLaine, the Children's Hour. Did you guys ever see that movie? Oh, my God, about the two school teachers, you know, and, so anyway, but A Single Man is about this guy whose long-term partner has just passed away, but he can't tell anybody. Like, and Julianne Moore, like, she knows as his friend, but she doesn't understand, like, she doesn't take it as serious as, like, his husband or wife dying, and that's what it is to him. And, so he can't really talk to anybody about what's going on, and it's like 1 or 2 days in his life, and he's like drinking a lot, and it's really tragic and really sad. I honestly don't remember how it ends at all. Another novella that I read for my battery died, and I didn't even know that it was like low. So anyway, but I was talking about that book, A Single Man, being made into a movie, and then I think it probably died somewhere in here. But I was saying another book that I read during Booktubeathon that first year, which was then the Reading Rush, was, oh shoot, what do you call it? Brokeback Mountain by Annie Proulx. It was a novella. My mom had actually bought the book for me, and that was made into a movie. Okay, so the novella and the movie are two completely different books, but the storyline is still very, very similar. She also wrote, I think, Shipping News, which she, I think, was nominated for like a Pulitzer Prize or something for. You know, it's interesting how much like Brokeback Mountain has been made fun of and kind of like, you know, joked about through the years and stuff, when really it was like the first movie of its kind. I can remember going to see it in the movie theater, and it was like all like heterosexual couples, and like I can remember going to see it and like people leaving and stuff in the movie theater, and my mom loved that movie so much. And I can remember, you know, she would say to me, and it's interesting because, you know, later with like the Lin-Manuel thing that came out, and he said love is love is love, you know, that movie came out way before that. And I can remember my mom saying to me, I said something to her about it being a gay love story, and she said it's not a gay love story. She said it's a love story. And I remember my mom saying that to me. My mom loved that movie so much. I think my mom's two favorite movies of life were Brokeback Mountain and Fight Club. She really, really liked Fight Club too. I'm not a lover of Fight Club. I read, why can't I think of his last name? Chuck Palahniuk. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I can't remember his last name right now. But I read Invisible Monsters years ago, and I really liked it. And I don't think I had read Fight Club up to that point. And then a couple years ago, I had done this thing for my BookTube channel where I was going to read, if I say it enough, I'll eventually get it, but I can't think of his name right now. Chuck. Anyway, the guy that writes he wrote the Fight Club and all that stuff. I was going to read one of his books. Chuck Palahniuk, is that his name? I don't know, I'm mispronouncing it horribly. I was going to read one of his books a month, right? Until we had read them all. But the first one that I read was Fight Club, and I just really wasn't that into it. I just really wasn't. And so I was like, I don't know, a friend of mine even made me all these bookmarks. Like, and each bookmark was a different cover of one of his books. And I feel like I should go back and revisit some of those books, because he's, I know, written some fantastic books, right? Is it the only one of his that I've... No. I read another one of his. You guys, this is going to sound so bizarre. It was actually a really good book. But it was... Chuck Palahniuk. But anyway, the other book that I read was... of his, I feel like it was called like Smut or something, and it was about this woman, and she was like an aging porn star, and she decided that she was going to retire, but she was going to go out doing like the biggest, I don't know if kids are listening, ORGY in the world, and like, well, not that she was going to have the most partners ever that had been filmed in one video. So that was like the background to the book. But the book was really about her relationship with her assistant, her relationship with like this ex that was also like a porn star as well, and like how she had ended up where she did. It was a really interesting book. It was very good. It really had very little to do with like what the book was supposedly about, and it had more to do with like choices and mistakes and things she had made in her life, and how she was reflecting upon that, looking back. It was really an interesting book. So that was another one of hers or his that I read, and then I read Invisible Monster, which was really good. But Invisible Monsters was, all the ideas, all the concepts for his books are like kind of like way out there. You kind of have to be in the mood to read that, you know? I mean, it's definitely not a cozy mystery. Let's just put it that way. Oh, my Lanta. What other books would I like being made into? They are blasting their music. Well, all right. The back window is down, and he just looked over at me and he went like this. That's such a straight bro thing to do. I always do it right back at him. And then they usually just like peel off and tear down the road. You know what I was thinking the other day as I'm driving by here? I was thinking, I really want some ice cream. What's that? Oh, Cold Stone. I love Cold Stone ice cream. Do you know, I have not, you guys, I cannot believe this. I haven't had Starbucks in 2 days. I haven't had, like, oh, I left the Keurig on in our kitchen. I, yesterday, was just, like, doing a bunch, did I have Starbucks yesterday? Maybe I did. I don't think I did. Because I was just, like, screwing around, and I finally left the house, and it was late. When I left the house today, well, I didn't leave the house today. Oh, that's the other thing. I didn't leave the house. So I just stayed there and was like cleaning and I made the bed real nice for Alex. I had a bunch of candles lit, candle waxes everywhere. I just really just enjoyed the house today. It was so nice. And, yeah, like, so I was like, I'm not going to go anywhere. And so I didn't leave to go get, because that was the only thing I was going to leave to go do was get coffee. And I think by the time that I looked at the time, so I was looking at the time on the cable box, you know, DVR thing or whatever, it was like 5 something, and I'm like, I bet they're not even still open yet, or I bet they're still not open. So I'm like, whatever, I'll just go tomorrow and get coffee. Now tomorrow, Tanya Jean and I are going to our home group meeting, and our Monday night group is on hiatus for a little bit. We've like, each of us have had like so much going on that like 1 week one of us is gone, and there's only 5 of us, and 1 week another one of us is gone, and whatever. So we decided to kind of take a hiatus from it for a while and return to it here next week maybe, or in 3 or 4 weeks, or in a month or so. We don't know, but we're going to talk about it tomorrow night and kind of see, because like one of my friends that's in the group, she works and she never knows her work schedule. Well, I mean, everybody in the group works, but she works in the evenings, sometimes part-time, and so she never knows her schedule. And so she's usually out like every other week. And then like Tanya and I have been like traveling a lot, so like every other week we've been gone somewhere, third week. And it's kind of like a tough group to run with just like 2 or 3 people. So we're gonna figure out how to do it going forward. And if like we want to do it every other week or every week, I love that group so much. They mean so much to me. But tomorrow night is our home group meeting, and was I here last Tuesday? I was. Then that means that we have a business meeting next week after, so it'll be a late night. We have a business meeting after our home group. Yeah, because it's the first Tuesday in September. So, and I feel like she announced it last week to our secretary. So we have a home group meeting, and then we have our home group meeting, and then we have our business meeting after that. It'll be a fun night, hanging out with my friends, my good Judy's, drinking coffee. And it's supposed to be beautiful tomorrow night anyway, so it'll be real fun to like, you know, hang out outside afterwards and stuff like that. Now, I've got to schedule my day well tomorrow so that I've got like an hour to like get ready and go pick up Tanya Jean and on time and stuff like that. So I filmed videos on all of my channels today. So, yeah, I should be good tomorrow for, I don't have any idea what I'm going to do a drama video about. I'll have to look tomorrow. But my review channel video is going to be crumble cookies. If I'm like hurting my elbow, like putting it here. I don't know, there's like it's like a crack or something, it looks like. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to do crumble cookie review tomorrow. If I get to get crumble cookies and they're not packed, that will be tomorrow. And then the vlog, some kind of drama video. I don't know what, I'll figure it out tomorrow. Oh, I do have a drama video tomorrow. That's not true. I do have a drama video tomorrow. So that's 3. And then I don't know what I'm going to do for my Peter Does Stuff channel and my BookTube channel. Well, Peterisms, of course, I'll read meditations. So I don't know what I'll do for those 2 videos. I may just not tomorrow, not do a BookTube video. And sometimes with my BookTube video or my Peter Does Stuff channel, like it takes people 2 or 3 days to like watch the videos. So I may just save those for another day, like the next day or something like that. But anyway, I am going to get off here now because I want to listen to a little bit of my audiobook, and then I also want to listen to this podcast. So I'm going to get off here now so I can listen to that and also still get home I just slept 5 hours, so, but a somewhat reasonable hour. And yeah, I think that's it. So I'm going to get off here now. And I love you guys. I feel like I'm losing my voice all of a sudden. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Tuesday. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Oh, could you do me another favor too if you've made it this far? Could you put for you in the comment section what would be a perfect time for me to upload the vlog? If it matters to you. If it doesn't, then it's whatever. But like a perfect time, and then say what like time zone you're in too. So like, you know, like 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 6 p.m. Central Time, or Mountain Time, or, you know, what other time zones you're in around the world, okay? Because around the world in 80 days. Anyway, I love you guys, and yeah, I think that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I love you. I hope you're having a magically amazing Tuesday. I love you. Bye. Love ya.